Your life begins to transform the moment you choose to think differently. And this, right here, could be that moment. This is Mindshift with Geetanjali, the space where you shift your mindset, rise above limitations, and reframe your reality. I'm Geetanjali, mindset coach, author, and your companion on this journey to rediscover the power that's already within you. Let's begin. I'm truly grateful you're here, and I want to give a heartfelt shout out to everyone who's been listening, following, and subscribing. Your support is deeply appreciated. Let's look at the 4 P's as in every episode. Problem. Someone asks you for a favor. Your stomach instantly tightens. Every cell in your body is screaming, "No, I don't have the time." Or "No, I don't want to do that." But before you can stop yourself, the word yes flies out of your mouth. Then comes the aftermath, the resentment, the exhaustion, and that heavy cloud of guilt that follows you around because you feel like you aren't allowed to have a boundary. You feel like a bad person for even wanting to say no. Promise, what if the reason you can't say no isn't because you're weak or too nice, but because your brain is literally trying to protect you from being kicked out of the tribe? In this episode, we're going to rewire that fear and show you how to say no in a way that feels like peace, not a war. Proof. I've worked with many professional pleasers, of whom I was one of them. They thought they were being helpful, but they were actually erasing themselves. When they learned the science of why no feels so dangerous, they finally found the courage to stand their ground, and surprisingly, the world didn't end. What's the plan? Today, we're going deep into the social brain, exploring why your brain processes a no as actual physical pain, and I'll give you a boundary buffer tool to protect your energy without burning bridges. In our last episode, we talked about burnout, that blown fuse in your nervous system. We discussed how your hypothalamus shuts things down to save you. But here is the truth we have to face today. Most of the time, our fuses blow because we keep saying yes to things we should have said no 2 weeks ago. We overcommit because we are afraid of the guilt. So I want to ask you, who are you trying to save by sacrificing yourself? Because if you don't learn to say no, your yes eventually loses all its value. It becomes a burden, not a gift. The science section. Today we will speak about social pain and the pain-shame response. Why does saying no feel so physically uncomfortable? It's because your brain doesn't see a no as a simple choice. It sees it as a threat to your survival. Deep in your brain, you have a specialized area called the anterior cingulate cortex. Neuroscientists have discovered something fascinating. This part of your brain lights up exactly the same way whether you break your arm or you experience social rejection. To your brain, social pain is physical pain. When you think about saying no, your amygdala, the alarm, and your anterior cingulate, the pain center, work together to create a sensation of danger. Then your hypothalamus, the commander, takes over. It doesn't check with your logic. it just acts. It triggers a massive spike in cortisol, the stress hormone. Your brain is literally trying to pain shame you into saying yes. It's using that shot of cortisol to make you feel so uncomfortable that you'll do anything to stay connected to the group. It's an ancient survival tactic. This is where the battle happens. Your prefrontal cortex, your CEO, knows you need a boundary. But your commander, the hypothalamus, is shouting that you're in danger. Through neuroplasticity, we are teaching the commander, the hypothalamus, a new rule. That's choosing yourself isn't a threat, it's a requirement. The biology of the pleaser. Oxytocin versus integrity. We also have to talk about oxytocin. We call it the love hormone, but it has a dark side. It makes us crave approval. When you say yes and someone smiles at you, your brain gets a hit of oxytocin. It feels good. The problem is, if you keep chasing that oxytocin hit by saying yes when you don't mean it, you develop a resentment loop. Your hypothalamus, the commander, starts to recognize that your words don't match your feelings. This creates cognitive dissonance, a state of mental stress that actually weakens your immune system and drains your battery faster. Peace is a pattern, but you can build it on a foundation of lies. Let's look at a tool that I call your boundary buffer. Step 1. Acknowledge the alarm, your mental reset. The moment you feel that familiar pinch of guilt in your stomach, pause. Name it. Don't let it grab the steering wheel. Example. A friend texts asking you to help them move this Saturday, the only day you set aside to rest. Your stomach tightens. You don't want to disappoint them. You don't want them upset. Right there, quietly say to yourself, my commander, my hypothalamus is trying to protect me from rejection, but I'm not in danger. This is a social alarm, not a fire. When you name the alarm, you create space. And in that space, your CEO, the prefrontal cortex, your conscious, rational mind can choose the response instead of reacting. That pause is the shift. Step 2, the 24-hour rule or the time buffer. You are no longer allowed to give an answer while your heart is racing. Your goal is to give your hypothalamus time to cool down so your logic can take over. Example. Someone corners you at the office or in the driveway and says, "Hey, can you take on this extra task?" Instead of the automatic "sure," you use your buffer phrase. Let me check my capacity and my calendar, and I'll get back to you by tomorrow morning. The shift. Notice what happened. You didn't say no yet, but you gave yourself space. You took the pressure off and didn't please them instantly. Step 3. The respectful no. When you finally deliver the answer, the key is to stop the over-explaining loop. When you give 10 reasons why you can't, you are actually inviting the other person to fix your problem so you can eventually say yes. Example. Instead of saying, I'm so sorry, I have to do laundry and my kid has a thing and I'm just so tired, which sounds like you're asking for permission, the script you say, I'd love to help, but I've looked at my schedule and I don't have the capacity to give this attention it deserves right now. So the example, or for a social invite, thank you so much for thinking of me, but I'm prioritizing some quiet time this weekend, so I won't be able to make it. When you use these examples, you are teaching your brain a new pattern. You are showing your hypothalamus, the commander, that you can say no, and the world and your friendships will stay intact. You are trading a moment of awkwardness for a week of peace. Here's a relatable story: the yes tax and the bank account. Imagine your life is a bank account, but instead of money, it holds energy currency. Every morning you get a fresh deposit. Imagine someone walks up to you and asks for $50. You look in your wallet and see you only have 20. But instead of saying, I don't have it, you go to a stress loan shark, borrow the extra $30 at a massive interest rate, and hand it over. That is what a false yes looks like. When you say yes, but mean no, you are borrowing energy from your future self. You are paying a yes tax. That tax shows up as a headache you have later that night, the snap at your partner because you're irritable, or the sheer exhaustion that makes you want to hide under the covers. We treat no like a dirty word. But imagine if your car didn't have brakes. It would be a yes car. It would go everywhere you pushed it, but eventually it would crash. A no is just your brakes. It's what allows you to stay on the road. I want us to get really honest for a minute. When you say yes, when you mean no, you aren't actually being kind. You're being dishonest. You're giving that person a version of you that is secretly resentful. You are doing the task with half your heart. And eventually, that resentment builds a wall between you and the people you love. Saying no is the most honest thing you can do for your relationships. It tells people, I value you enough to only give you the yes that is real. Before we move into our practice, I want to explain what visualization really is, especially if you are joining us for the first time. This isn't just imagination. Visualization is a practice of using your mind to create a felt experience of the future. When you visualize with emotion, your brain activates the same neural pathways as if the experience were already happening. Your brain can tell the difference between a vividly imagined safe moment and a real one. So when we visualize setting a boundary while staying calm, we are literally training your brain. We are showing your nervous system that you can say no and stay perfectly safe. We are teaching your body a new reference point. So let's do this together. Gently inhale deeply and slowly let out through your mouth like a whistle your exhale. Inhale deeply and release through your mouth. Do this 2 more times. And then bring your breath to a normal inhale, exhale. If it is safe, close your eyes or just picture. I want you to imagine yourself standing in a quiet, open space. There's no complex scenery you need to picture. Simply turn your attention inward. Notice how your body feels after holding so much for so long. Maybe you feel a tightness in your shoulders, a weight in your chest, or a bracing in your belly. This is the part of you that learned how to stay alert, to manage, to hold everything together. You aren't here to judge this part. You're just noticing it. Take a slow breath in and silently say, I see how hard you've been working. And as you exhale, notice if anything softens, even just a fraction. There is no rush. Now imagine you are standing in a quiet garden. This garden is your life. It holds your energy, your time, and your peace. Notice that there is a gate. This gate is your no. Someone walks up to the gate and asks for something you don't have the energy to give. In the past, you would have let them in and let them trample the flowers just to make them happy. But now, look at yourself. You walk to the gate. You look at them with kindness, but you keep the gate closed. You say, I can't do that right now. Notice the feeling in your body. The old guilt might rise up. It feels like a little heat in your chest. Just breathe into it. Watch the heat dissolve. No judgment of the emotion. Just let it come and go. Notice that the person at the gate is okay. They turn and walk away. The world is still turning. You are still safe and your garden is still peaceful. Take one slow breath in and let it go. Notice how your body feels now. Perhaps more spacious, perhaps steadier. When you're ready, gently bring your awareness back. Here are a few affirmations for you to say out loud with clarity and feeling. I listen to myself with honesty. I trust the signals I feel inside. Peace is a pattern I am building. I choose my peace over my old patterns. I am safe when I set boundaries. If saying no feels hard today, that's okay. You are undoing years of biological programming. Every time you set a small boundary, you are a pioneer in your own life. You are teaching the people around you how to treat you, but more importantly, you are teaching yourself that you are worth protecting. Join me in the next episode. Are you people pleasing your potential away? We're going to look at the high cost of being too nice. I'll show you how to stop leaking your energy into other people's expectations and how to finally trade being liked for being powerful. It's time to stop building everyone else's house and start finishing your own masterpiece. You won't want to miss this shift. Thank you for joining me today on Mindshift with Geetanjali. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message and subscribe for next week's episode. Every moment of awareness you create today builds the reality you live tomorrow. Keep rising, keep shifting, keep reframing, and keep becoming who you're meant to be. Rise, shift, reframe, become.